Welcome to the Mariana Dalto Show. In today's episode, I'm going to dive into a powerful topic that affects so many aspects of our lives, self-confidence and self-beliefs. If you ever struggle with self-doubt or felt held back by your own inner critic, this episode is for you. We're going to go and I'm going to explore what true self-confidence is, how it really differs from arrogance, why many of us really struggle with it, and most importantly, practical ways to start building it in our daily lives. This is something that has been very important for everyone and for my clients, and I wanted really to share that with you in this episode. So by the end of today's show, you will have actionable insights to boost your confidence and take on life with a renewed sense of self-belief. For those that don't know about me, I got certified as a life coach many years ago with a life coach school with Brooke Castillo. I implemented and I keep implementing this, everything that I learned from the coaching certification. And I teach my clients a lot about this mindset because it's part of like, not just business, but for your own life, right? That's how the better your mindset is, the better you can feel better every day. And then that is part of like having a good life every day. And that's gonna help you grow your business as well if you have a good mindset. So most of the time people don't realize how really your mindset impacts your life in general. And really paying attention on how the thoughts you have and the feelings that those thoughts produce on you will generate certain actions, and could be, good or bad actions depending on the type of thoughts you have. And then that will generate like good or bad feelings. And then the actions will be one or the other. And then that will cause results in your personal, in your career, in your business. So it's all entertainment. It's all works together, right? So it's so important, even though when people come to me to help them to grow their revenue in their business, it's not just about having the strategies and the tactics in marketing and sales. It's also working on your mindset, because sometimes that's the first step before you start like really talking about business and talking about what strategy needs to be applied to my business. So I just wanted to mention that because this episode is very specific for those that maybe didn't think that mindset could be impacting your life overall and your business, right? So let's get started. I want to start talking about self-confidence. And what does that mean? So it's the ability to trust in yourself and your own abilities. It is a state of feeling secure, knowing that you can experience any emotion, even failure, and without being harmed, right? So you have all these feelings in your body, and it really impacts how your confidence is, and it could change every day, right? So one of the things, there's three core components of self-confidence. I'm going to talk about trusting yourself, emotional resilience, and positive self-opinion, right? So let's talk about the first one, which is trusting yourself. The importance of following through on what you say and what you'll do, it's really trusting yourself. You need to trust. Trust comes from consistency and doing the responsible thing even when it's difficult. And that's where sometimes people get stuck with it, right? Not everyone is consistent, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky. So the goal is that you follow through with the plan that you have. You have a plan, you need to follow through. You need to take care of yourself. And then you will do the responsible thing and the useful thing for yourself, even if you don't feel like it. In life or in business, sometimes we need to do things that we don't like, but that's part of life and part of like moving forward. So the goal is to be responsible, to be consistent, and taking action. So This is very different that from saying that you will do something and then hoping that you will follow through. That will leave you that room for the self-doubt, which is the opposite of self-confidence. Now, this is trusting yourself. Now, if we go now and talk about the emotional resilience of it, confidence grows when we're willing to experience any emotion. Our ability to handle emotions, even the ones that are uncomfortable for us, is what takes the risk out of the challenges, right? So the worst that could happen is an emotion. We know that it's hard sometimes, like going through that, but the worst that could happen is just you having an emotion, probably a negative emotion, which is fine, right? It's not gonna be permanent. It's not gonna harm us as it's we need to feel we need to make sure that in order for that emotion not to harm us, we need to make sure that we feel it through a way that it goes through and we process it. We don't want to hold that emotion. We want to process it with your body. We want to release it, right? And then the third point was the positive self-opinion. So how we view ourselves influences our confidence. So developing thoughts of self-worth and capability fosters self-confidence. Um, all our feelings are going to come from our thinking, right? So the way we think about ourselves will determine whether we feel confident. A self-confident person is going to think that they're good and they're capable and they're worthy. So that's where between trusting yourself, the emotional resilience, how you grow your confidence by willing to experience any emotion, and then having those positive self-opinions will really help. Now, let's talk about a little bit about the difference between self-confidence and arrogance, because some people get confused about that. So arrogance involves thinking you are better than others and needing to prove it, like often putting others down. True confidence, on the other hand, is it's abundant. It celebrates the strength of others without feeling threatened, right? So arrogance typically comes from a lack of self-confidence. Most criticisms of others is usually a projection of ourselves, right? So this means that we are compensating for our lack of self-confidence by trying to make ourselves better than someone else in our own minds. So arrogance is basically it's based on fear and not self-confidence. That's where it comes from. So if we talk about self-confidence, on the other hand, we feel that we are all capable and we are amazing and we can handle fear and any other negative emotion. It's all good. It's an abundant feeling. It's not a scarcity feeling. Now, if we want to compare, like, the comparison with confidence is interesting because self-confidence is rooted in knowing that all humans have value, right? So arrogance, on the other hand, stems from insecurity, where confidence allows one to see others as equal. So self-confidence, when genuine, understands that all humans are awesome and capable. But here's where it always comes to the question where why do so many of us have that lack of confidence? Where does it come from? Why is it so hard to get there? Most of us aren't confident initially, right? We don't trust ourselves. Basically, we do not understand how to manage our minds. So we feel out of control with our feelings, with our actions. And this leads us to ourselves, feel ourselves down consistently, sorry, excuse me, and, undermine our ability to trust and stay in integrity. So there's three things that I want to talk about related to why people lack confidence. One is we lack trust in ourselves. Without the habit of following through, it's hard to develop that confidence. When we repeatedly let ourselves down, we don't believe in our own capabilities because we don't follow through, because we don't take action. We say that we're going to do something and we don't do it. So that's the lack of trust on ourselves. Then we have the fear of negative emotions. We avoid situations where we might experience that fear, that emotion of failure, right? That emotion of rejection, of disappointment. These avoidance keep us from developing the resistance that confidence requires. Because no one wants to feel a negative emotion. So you resist that emotion, and that's why you are kind of like in that situation. And the third one is the low self-opinion. Our brains are often wired to focus on the negative. This is how we humans are, right? We're creating beliefs that diminish our self-worth, like I'm not capable and I'm not good as others. And this is like for everyone. Everyone is the same. We're all human and we all feel the same. So this is another factor that impacts a little bit why we all, in some point in our life, lack confidence, and how, there's ways around it to get better at it. So self-confidence is really an attractive tool for influence. And I wanted to share that because it really makes a big difference when you have it, when you feel it. A self-confident person is not bossy, is not controlling, and it's not that type of person that will know it all. That's not being self-confident. Self-confident confident people, they have no problem admitting that they don't know something, or they, they don't have an answer for something, or if they fail, that's not a problem. Okay, moving on. They know that, moving on and keep moving forward, right? So when we have more self-confidence, you will set more goals, you will take more action, you will talk to more people, you will take more risks, you'll for sure achieve more. You'll believe beyond your current capability and capacity. And then you will live in your future, because it's okay today how you live your life or how you're going through things. You trust in yourself and you will get where you want to go, because you're taking the risk, because you are taking the action that needs to be taken in order to move forward. So basically, self-confidence is a practice self-belief. So don't rely on today's ability. Rely in your belief that you can handle anything, everything. It's just a feeling. Just believe that you can do it. Self-confidence, it's wonderful for you, but it's amazing and wonderful for everyone around you. People love being around those that have that energy of abundance, of confidence. These make you feel more attractive, and it will create more, attraction overall, and you're going to be more creative because of the energy that you have. Now, we talked about that, but then it's like, well, how do you shift your limiting belief to empower others, empower yourself? So first, you need to kind of like recycle those beliefs that might potentially hold you back. And it happens to everyone, right? It's not just, it happens to me all the time. So what is it that it holds us back? And then what are those beliefs that we need to recycle? So I'll give you some examples, like failure is weakness, or I'm just not confident, or I don't know how, or the less risks I take, the better. Confident people are comfortable and don't feel afraid. These repetitive thoughts shape our reality, and we don't want those thoughts in our minds. We want to reframe those beliefs, like transforming those beliefs in a way that we're adapting with affirmations. And we can say, I'm capable of achieving my goals. So really believe that you're capable to achieve your goals. The worst that can happen is just a feeling. So I can handle it, it's all fine. Or I'm worthy and enough as I am, right? So feel that way, reframe those beliefs in your life, and you will start seeing shifts in how everything happens in your life and how things really improve. So how do you build your self-confidence daily? Because we gotta do that on a daily basis. It's not like it's a one-time event that you think about it, you read, you try to do it one day, that's it. No, increased self-confidence comes from changing your thoughts about yourself. You can increase it by considering the possibility of what you can create in the future. The more certain you are of a possibility, the more confidence you will have moving forward. Your identity is built on your beliefs about yourself. Your identity beliefs determine a consistent state of being. And your identity is not fixed. It is created daily, right? So in order to do that, you need to work against being human, because everyone goes through that. And when you're human, that's the experience that you have. The old programming of your brain, and then your beliefs and your thinking. That's how you work against that. So you basically have to train your brain to produce that self-confidence naturally. We have to be willing to experience discomfort consistently in order to have that self-confidence. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's an exercise that we have to do. So Brooke Castillo, that's how I got certified in her school. And one of her things that she always says is like, discomfort is the currency of your dreams. If you are not comfortable with things, that's where you're going and moving forward, because you need to feel uncomfortable in order to make progress, in order to grow. If you're not feeling that discomfort, you're not going anywhere. So some practical tips that can help you cultivate that confidence could be like physical tips, like stand tall and open your chest. Breathe deeply, like you mean it. Have that physical posture that can influence the confidence that you have and you feel. Dress up and own it. Take action. That is like 100% confidence. Confidence grows through doing, especially when we are facing challenges, because you're going to take action, you're going to fail, and it's okay. Just don't have the fear or to feel, those feelings of failure. It's okay. You actually want to fail. Like Grant Cardone says, if you don't fail, that means you're not growing, because you got to take action. You're going to fail, but that's how you grow. That's how you learn. And then speak up and smile. Engaging positively with others really boosts both your confidence and your connection with people. Set goals and take risks. This is another one. And I, as a coach, as a business coach, I talk about goals all the time. You gotta take action. You gotta have goals, take action, pursue those goals. And learning from the failures will contribute to that confident mindset. You gotta take action. Don't have the fear of the risk that you're gonna face. It's okay. Nothing is gonna happen. It's just an emotion. And then doing daily affirmations really helps, like having those repetitive positive statements to reinforce confident self-image, right? One of the things that I learned from Grant, and he has his 10x planner, and the planner, you really, you have clearly on what you're going to do that day. and what is your main goal for the year or whatever the long-term goal, and then what are your targets, and you have clarity on what you're doing, and you are clarity on the main goal and the targets, and then you go by the end of the day and you check on your success. What successes do you have that day? So you're always looking at the positive things about it. You want to reinforce yourself and feel good about the things that you've done that day. Of course, you probably have bad things happen. That's you're human, right? But you want to be always in a positive state of mind. And that's why I love that planner, because you're always thinking positively, like, okay, these are my goals. I'm still like tracking what my mission is. What is it that I want to accomplish? That's what drives me. That's, it's always about the why you want to do this, right? And then so you going back to your goals, going back to your targets, going back to the great things that you accomplished that day, gives you more energy, gives you that positivity, and you want that. So I wanted to mention that because that's been also a game changer for me. And again, it's a routine, it's a consistency, it's the taking action that makes you better, right? So if we talk about influence and attraction, confidence isn't about the loudest or the most outgoing person. It's about having a secure, grounded presence that influence others positively. That's basically what it is. So actions will boost your confidence. I talked about that many times. Confident people set goals, they take action, and they live into their future with a bringing on attitude. I can do this, right? Their energy and their self-belief inspire others, making others natural leaders, right? Progress increases self-confidence. So when you take action and you move forward, you have that confidence, right? Again, sometimes it feels bad because it's like, I don't know how to do this. Take action. You'll figure it out. The more action you take, the more you'll figure out things. You can't go in circles about things. Take action. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to have those emotions and feelings that they're uncomfortable. That's how you grow. Massive action helps to increase as well. Brian talks about massive action big time. That's what we are 10x, right? Do the stuff that you are scared to do and repeat those actions, right? Make decisions and honor those decisions. Give up needing other people's approval. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I'm not sure I should do that, because no, just forget about people's approvals. Self-confidence comes from needing your own approval, learning by doing. If you don't know something, learn by taking action to find out how. Again, you got to take action. If you don't, then you don't know what's next. It'll come to you, I promise. So self-confidence is something you can build over time. It's about trusting yourself, embracing your emotions, and choosing empowering beliefs. Remember, confidence doesn't mean you won't face challenges or setbacks, not at all. You're human. It means you'll face them with resilience and self-trust. And you get used to it. And you're like, it's okay. I've been through this somehow in another situation, and you'll feel fine. I hope today's episode have give you, the insights and the tools to start building unshakable confidence, because that was my main goal for this episode. So keep practicing, keep pushing through, and watch as you transform how you show up in the world. Thank you for tuning to the Mariana Dalto Show today. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with anyone who maybe might need a boost of confidence in their lives. Until next time, believe in yourself and take on life with courage and conviction. Thank you, and see you next time.